Hi everyone, I'm Tamara Matabanga. I am the founder and chief content officer at Alaking Creatives. Welcome back to yet another episode of the 50 digital technology solutions that every business needs. And today I am chatting with Horesia. Horesia, can you please introduce yourself?
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Tamara, for having me on. My name is Horesia Nyawade. I am a Kenyan based in Johannesburg, South Africa. I'm also the co-founder, chief innovator, and editor-in-chief at Vuca, which is a multidisciplinary platform for African-owned brands and businesses. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome, Horesia. I just want us to delve deeper into who exactly Vuca is and what do you do?
So Vuca is actually, in the most layman's terms, is that when somebody asks me who is Vuca or what do I do at Vuca, is that we essentially tell African stories, and specifically stories about African-owned brands, African-owned businesses, and African people doing great things in the continent. So what we've done at Vuca is created two platforms. One of them is our e-commerce platform, where the ones who have products can sell them online. And then there's also our second platform, which is the eMagazine, where we essentially curate stories about these brands so that people can learn about them and absorb them and essentially turn that learning into sales for them. So that's what we do at Vuca.
Awesome. Sounds absolutely amazing. And what do you believe is your unique selling point? What makes you so different from any other marketplace and any other e-magazine out there?
Okay. I think one thing that stands out for us is that what drives us, what's been our passion from the beginning. So we're a startup and we just got into our second year. So I know, big achievement. And typically we've gone through the typical startup journey of you come into the market with an idea and then you slowly start to pivot depending on what you're hearing from the market, what your customers want, what your users, your end users would like. And so we've been pivoting a lot. But what has stuck to our core is that we've always felt like businesses or talent within the continent doesn't get enough airtime. And when it does, it's never told in a way that would entice the end reader or user to want to interact with them. And then the second part of that has always been just us Africans ourselves, how we look at products or businesses that come from our own continent. We somehow usually have some sort of bias where you almost want to maybe request for a discount, or you just don't feel like you will get the value that would probably typically come from the West. So with all of that knowledge, that's where our unique selling point comes from, because we're very, very aware of that. And we try our best to bring these businesses, these talents in a very proper, illuminating sort of light, so that whoever interacts with it is not really asking the typical questions that I asked you, but they're mostly saying, when can we work together? How much do I pay? Where do I pay? Oh, now I know what you do. I should refer a friend to you. And that's what drives us to do everything that we do at Vuca.
That's absolutely amazing. And it's so true with regards to like Africans don't trust our own brands. Like as soon as someone says, oh, it's from like it's a black owned company, like we immediately start judging the quality of it. And I honestly also agree, like that has got to stop. Like we have to support one another, because that is literally the only way that we are going to grow. I just want to touch a little bit on like the e-commerce side of things. Like what do you believe are the advantages and perhaps even the disadvantages of, being on a platform like Vuca, so having that open place, a market source, instead of creating your own online store?
Okay. So what's been happening, especially post-corona, or are we currently in corona? I don't even know. But is that you start to realize very quickly that there is power in community, there's power in collaborations. And then when you think about the other end of us providing a platform, is that the typical platforms that exist already is, for example, there's Facebook, there's Instagram. Those are all spaces that you can have your store on. And then you launch, and then you wait for a couple of seconds and you think, now that I have a presence, now that I'm online, everything is going to work out. People are going to find me. The thing that you don't realize is that there's a lot more that goes beyond just your presence, your digital presence. So there's a lot of marketing involved. There's a lot of PR. There's a lot of, is there customer service? Do people trust you? Was your pricing correct? And so when it comes back to our offering of the marketplace structure, is that we at least take out that that sort of burden that you would have to try and reach people when people already recognize Vuca as a platform where they'll get a whole load of brands. Then you're almost benefiting from the compiled SEO, African brands online, when everybody's already looking for your kind of your product or service. So they're able to find you there. So that's one of the benefits. And then the second benefit is that you also, there's a lot of technical admin that comes with managing your own store. So you're either hiring somebody to build you a platform, and then you find sometimes that you only have one or two products. You don't really have a huge product range. So now you built this entire website for two products. So this another advantage where you can be like, okay, my two body butters are gonna go alongside the other 7 or 10 body butters in there. That's a second advantage to list online in a marketplace. And then the last thing is that we don't restrict you from selling anywhere else, because at the end of the day, as a business owner, you want to be able to spread your message, spread your product as wide as possible, and reach a big audience, the biggest audience that you possibly can, so that they can purchase from you. So once you get on here, we don't sign exclusive rights to you. We allow you to essentially list anywhere else. And actually later on, if you were just starting out and you figured out that now you want to branch out, now you want to add to your portfolio, you actually want to grow your brand, to have your own platform, then you're more than welcome to do that as well. But it's definitely a good space to start at, and at lower costs, because again, it's free.
It's free. Awesome.
It is.
And just another question, like, do you only sell on advertised products, or if like someone is a service-based business like mine, can they put out their services on the e-commerce store, or would I have to go through the eMagazine instead? Okay.
So that's why we actually built the eMagazine, because we started to realize that that was one of the biggest pivots at Vuca. We started to realize that our offering was very restricted to product-based businesses. And we wanted to be able to tap into the services, because the services also need promotion. They also need people to know what they're doing. And so one of the other products within Vuca Lifestyle eMag is the eDirectory. And the eDirectory has been such an awesome thing that we launched about 3 months ago. And basically we have categorized different businesses as per their location on the continent, so per country. And in there you can tell us, the good thing with the eMag is that it's interactive and it's online. So you can essentially come on and say, hi, I'm Tamara. I'm the creative officer here. This is what I do. This is my email address. This is my website. And you can choose between 3 or 4, 2 to 3, what's it called? Call to actions or communication lines, which somebody can directly click on and get onto your service page, your business page. So that's it goes for 150 rands. per month, and businesses and services have the power to choose how many months they want to be on. And that's the cool thing, especially if, for the brands who, while we're telling their stories, then the user experience for the end user or the reader is that, oh my God, I actually know what she does. I know how she can help me. And I'm even seeing this ad in the directory of what she does. So it's essentially the Vuca eMag has ended up being a sort of marketplace for service-based offerings as well.
Okay, nice. And just a quick question, if you don't mind me asking, like, how many subscribers do you have per month at this point? And, perhaps readers, do you have any idea how many people are actually reading the magazine?
Yeah, so we're averaging about 1,000 to 1,200 reads per month, which is great because we are just releasing our 13th edition in December. And we've seen it grow from like 40 readers to 200 readers to 500 readers to 700 readers. And so the cool thing is that it's growing, and we are investing our time in trying to get more people to subscribe. Our email database has also grown as well. So it's a product that I'm personally very excited about within the company, because it also gives us a chance to really apply our skills and our passion and get to see this cool item that comes out, and we want more people to know about it, because we are actually really trying to tell these stories that we think will be worth a read.
Yeah, it's awesome. And I just want us to go back a little bit towards like the marketing side. We mentioned the fact that a lot of these companies, they all have an online presence, but they still lack the marketing. So in your opinion, what do you think has been the biggest challenge for African brands to market themselves? And, how is Vuca, trying to pretty much rectify those issues?
Wow. I don't even know if there's a bigger challenge than any other, but I know one thing that stands out to me when it comes to marketing your products is that this is a very general comment to our culture in general. When I say our culture, when I say our, I just mean us as Africans, where we haven't naturally been taught to sing praises about ourselves, to shout onto the streets about great things that we are doing. And that same mentality, I've seen it kind of transpassing into your business. So people are doing great things, but they almost want people to like walk past them and somehow come to them and then find out how great they are. And even after that, they want those people to somehow have their business at the forefront of their minds and tell it to other people. And that's the essence and extent of marketing in the continent. And what's happening, if we're studying like what's happening worldwide onto these digital platforms or everywhere else, is that people are coming on and saying, I do this great thing. I did this great thing. And even for you, when you start doing that, you start feeling like, who the heck do I think I am to be speaking in this manner? And to whom am I speaking to? Because this is a video, or this is just a tweet. This is just a post. So there's a lot that comes with that when it comes to digital marketing or online marketing or just any kind of marketing, really, because you have to be able to have the power to speak and to tell people about what you're doing. So that's the first challenge. The second challenge is that, okay, I know I have to do this. I know I have to speak. I know I have to come online. I know I have to market. I know I have to network online. I have to speak to people like Tamara and find out how she's doing. But then they're like, I don't know how. Because now you've come from the first knowledge of, I didn't know that I was supposed to be doing this. Then the second thing is, I know I'm supposed to be doing it, but how do I go about it? I'm not very confident. I don't command the English language as well as as other people do. I don't know how to tell, I don't know how to use the words that you do. I don't know how to write more than 2 sentences. And when I hear challenges like that, what I say is that as Africans, we need to stop also trying to really fit this cookie cutter standard that is not ours. We need to learn how to try and get our own voice. What is our voice? What is unique about us? Is my sentence going to be combined with half Zulu, half Swahili, half whatever? Because guess what? At the end of the day, my consumer, you have to think about who is my end consumer as well. They want to relate to me when they know, oh, Horesia stays in South Africa and she's not just about that 100% English life all the time. Like, oh my God, I can't believe she still speaks Swahili. I can't believe she understands. And that starts to open you and your business and your offering to the end user because they start to feel like this is somebody they can relate to. And when you're worried about spelling, there's apps for that. You're worried about my language, there's apps for that. And at the end of the day, your end user just wants to be able to know, is this somebody I can trust? Is this somebody I can relate to? And can I also just tell them that, look, I'm starting from where I'm starting from. I'm not an absolute professional. All I know is that I'm very talented at making dolls for babies. And I'm really trying this thing that I don't know. So walk this journey with me. So those are the challenges that I've seen, and obviously in response to challenges. So while knowing that some of the stuff I've been saying is that there's an app for that, another thing is stick to your authenticity. Don't try and be like somebody else in that sort of cookie cutter format. And just know that, okay, who am I? You know, and what am I good at? I might not speak well, but I know that what I'm offering is fantastic. So how can I communicate that in a way that people will understand and appreciate?
That is absolutely beautiful, honestly. And like what you're saying right now, that is definitely like a lot of the ideas that I also have like within Alaking Creators. And like touching on that, Alaking Creators uses this framework called the 5 Ones framework. And we pretty much encourage all of our clients to choose one product or solution, market it to one target audience through one traffic source using one conversion method and doing all of that for 1 year. So also as a way to, you know, like get people to calm down. You don't have to be everything to everyone, just choose one. So how would Vuca apply this framework into your business if you had to?
Wow. So funny. You can even prepare for a question and then it comes to you in real life and you're still like, oh my God. Okay, so I'm just going to just guide me through the question, but I'm going to answer the first 2. So okay. The first product that I would use on your 5 framework, the product that I'd come to is this one that I'm excited about, the Vuca Lifestyle eMag. And then the source, please remind me the source.
So pretty much the traffic source would be any sort of social media platform that you use, or yeah.
So the traffic source that I would use is WhatsApp. Mm-hmm. And the reason for that is that WhatsApp I found to be one of the most powerful platforms within the continent currently, with just different features in WhatsApp. The first one being the WhatsApp status stories. So a lot of other social media platforms have the status, but for WhatsApp, it just happens to be your people who actually have known you before. And so I'm finding that the conversion rate on a platform like that is way higher because this is either somebody who's known you for a very long time or have known you in any other field or capacity. So definitely you don't have to introduce yourself or your product to them from scratch. It doesn't have to be, hi, my name is Horesia. This is what I do. It's like, oh, I already know who you are. I thought you were working in corporate. I didn't realize you have an entire magazine. What the heck? Okay, let me check it out. I know your mom. What? You write it? Let me check it out. So that's the first thing. So that's for status, right? Your WhatsApp status. And then the second thing is that they still haven't been able to put on the feature where you can put up an image and a link, but they have a feature where you can literally put up a link on your WhatsApp status. So for me, that also brings a higher conversion rate, because once I see, oh, this is the eMag, this is the one for this year, this month that has come out, and then be like, where can I get it? Am I supposed to go all the way to subscribe to Vuca and then wait for their email next month and then get a new email? Or can I actually just directly click on the link and start to consume this product and go to the page that I find an interesting story? So that's the other thing. And then the last one is the broadcast list on WhatsApp. The second one, I have one last one. The second one is the broadcast list on WhatsApp. So that's pretty great because you can actually start to curate different audiences within your life. So there's some that, like, for example, I've networked with. This is Tamara. This is other people that I've met. These are my professional circle. And that way I can almost custom make messages to you as a collective. So I don't have to keep trying to reach 50, 100 people. I can actually add 50, 100 people onto my list and start to speak to you in a language that you appreciate. So when I speak to you, I'm like, hey, Tamara, or whatever, like, this is my new eMag. Can you please check it out? I'd like to know. And you'll be like, oh, okay, thanks, Horesia. Cheers, got it. And if it's, for example, it's your family, there's a different language that you can speak to them with and just say that, yo, fams, what's up? What's good? New eMag has dropped. I don't know why family gets to be spoken in that gangster manner, but we move. And so the last one is groups on WhatsApp. And that way I can actually create one where I invite people to the group. And that way, because I'm also very conscious about the etiquette on social media platforms and forcing people to come into spaces that they don't want to be in. And so an invite almost seeks consent from the end user and asks them, hey, would you like to be a part of this community? Would you like to be a part of this group? And so they are willingly coming in, which means they'll be willing to consume my product, which at this point obviously is the eMagazine. And even I'm able to build anticipation for them and say, hey, it's dropping in a couple of days, or it's just dropped. These are the cool stories, and trying to get my readership higher in that manner. Chatterbox, I know, but I hope that helps. So you said
I love that.
Source. What else am I supposed to answer?
Do you have any specific target audience, perhaps?
Okay. So our primary target audience for the Vuca Lifestyle eMag is African-owned SMEs, small businesses. So you could be a small business with a product, or you can be a small business with a service. It's fine. Great. You don't have to, if you do have a product and or a service, it doesn't have to be, so we're not restricting it like it has to be specifically made by resources from this continent, because there are people who are probably resellers of gadgets and stuff like that. And a lot of the gadgets, are not made produced in our continent, a whole other story for a whole other day. However, so that's important. So for us, it's SMEs. And when I say SMEs, I'm not even going to put an income bracket on it. I just want to say that you essentially probably work alone up until maybe almost 50 employees, right? Because that's pretty good to see that means that you're either growing your business, you're either on startup or to above, and maybe you're trying to limit your resources, you have 10 employees or it's just you. But what that means as well is that you're always looking for affordable ways to keep spreading the message about what you're doing. And so for me, that's my target market, because I don't have a huge marketing department. I don't have to create posters for me, to manage my Google ads for me, to manage my promotions for me. So I need to find creative ways that I can reach a great amount of people at an affordable rate. So that's my target market, that type of person who's thinking like that and saying that I still have a product, I still have a service, it's great, I know it's useful to the person who I'm looking for, but finding them might be costly if I go the typical corporate big shot way.
That's awesome. No, that's absolutely perfect. And hey guys, if Vuca can do it, then so can you. Thank you so much for being on this platform with me, Horesia. I just want to ask, is there anything else that you'd like to share with the audience before we, call it a day?
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Tamara. Thank you for having me for this short chat that I hope actually has really helped whoever's watching just get some insight into who Vuca is, what are we doing, and I guess my last words would be to, if you are a consumer and a reader and just a citizen of the continent, I think that a lot is happening in the world right now that is directing their attention towards us. And we need to be vigilant and careful that we don't end up going through a second type of colonization, for lack of a better word, where people are coming in and they're seeing that here is a young community of people. Here they're healthy, they're vibrant, they're smart, they're intelligent. How can we almost come and abuse what they have and take advantage of it? And so what I'm going to say is that we need to stay awake for that and actually be the pioneers and the people who are also supporting, also supporting the new businesses that are coming up. And what does support look like? Opening that link. What does support look like? Resharing that post. Telling a friend about it. When you come in, not overly negotiating and probably trying to understand what is the value this person is trying to give me. How would I act when it was a different race or coming from a different type of continent? Am I only doing this? Check your own self personal biases. Am I only doing this because I believe that something that comes from my continent should be of less value? So that's my final words to you, just to be able to be a conscious consumer, one who's not asking the wrong questions, but actually the right questions that will get us to where it is that we're trying to go, which is a very independent and self-sustainable continent with people who are doing things for themselves. And then the last thing is we are always building our audience and our community. We're always trying to get people, because there's, other than the eMag and the platform, sometimes we have digital master classes. Sometimes we do work with brands on a consultation specific purpose. So for different types of digital, if you're trying to go into that cool digital idea that you don't want to be stuck in a box and you want to find a company that is willing to hear your idea out, then definitely reach out to Vuca. And that's it from me.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Horesia. I truly appreciate it, and I hope the audience will appreciate it as well. And that's it for now, guys. I hope to see you again next week for another episode. Cheers.
Bye.